What's up, Bulls Nation? My name is Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Bulls Nation, I didn't think I'd be talking about this so soon after making our first video, but apparently, since I last talked about Damian Lillard and the secret team that's going to be interested in him, apparently, again, bunches and bunches of articles now are suggesting that the Bulls are seriously considering trading Damian Lillard, and there's a surprise player that I'm most definitely surprised about that is in that conversation. We're going to talk about the positives and the negatives of this in this video. But before we get any further, if you liked the video at any point and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about this player and ultimately the trade situation that could be going on here. Now, of course, again, Damian Lillard is a guy that probably has the reins in terms of trade rumors right now. The news stories about trades has all been around Damian Lillard. You don't often see many articles now about James Harden or any other player that could be on the trade package. Even Zach LaVine has not been talked about that much these days. However, it seems now both Zach LaVine and Damian Lillard are in trade conversations, and the funny thing is, it's for each other, which is extremely interesting. I've seen, again, all you need to do is search the Chicago Bulls, go onto the news page, and go onto all the articles that suggest that the Bulls are serious about trading for Damian Lillard, and also serious about doing a Zach LaVine for Damian Lillard swap. Which is extremely interesting to me, because obviously you need to take into consideration Zach LaVine is the superstar player that you expect to take us into the future, and obviously Damian Lillard is the superstar player for Portland that has been taking them to the future, and now it looks like that's come to a standstill. So there's a lot of interesting conversation points there. And there's a lot of positives and negatives towards that. And I want to start off with the positives at the end of the day. Let's just say hypothetically, in an ideal world, or not even an ideal world, let's just say hypothetically, Zach LaVine does get traded for Damian Lillard. Let's just say those are the only two things that happen. Nothing else. No one else is involved in that trade package. It's just Zach LaVine for Damian Lillard. Let's quickly talk about the positives and the negatives of that. The positive for me is pretty obvious. Damian Lillard is one of my favorite players to watch in the NBA. He has been for years and years and years. So as a personal fan of Damian Lillard, I would absolutely love to see him on the Bulls. I've said this in the past as well, and I'm sure you guys may remember this. It reminds me very much of Dwayne Wade. Now, Dwayne Wade didn't exactly have the most memorable time with the Chicago Bulls. Some people actually don't like that Dwayne Wade era. But Dwayne Wade, at that time, was my favorite player to watch in the NBA. Injured and all, getting up there in age and all, on the decline and all, he was still one of my favorite players to watch. And the fact that I get to sit here and say that one of my favorite players I've ever seen joins the team that I love so dearly, yes, people won't remember it fondly, but I will always remember that moment. And it'll be very similar with Damian Lillard. It'll be very similar if D Rose returns to the Bulls. These players that you grow up upon, these players that you do watch and enjoy and admire their game and how good they are at the game of basketball, I absolutely would love Damian Lillard on the team for that reason. Obviously, another positive, it could be that point guard that we're looking for. Now, if you're trading Zach LaVine, you will need a scoring point guard at the end of the day. I've said it for ages, I don't necessarily think the point guard that we need needs to be a scoring point guard. But if you're going to get rid of a scorer to get a scorer in return, and it's pretty simple, we will need a scoring point guard. So there's another positive in that regard. Not only are you going to get a good quality point guard, you'll also get a scoring point guard as well, which will be a necessity if you do trade Zach LaVine for Damian Lillard. I don't think the age difference is that massive either. So if you're talking about what Damian Lillard is older, of course he is older than Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is still pretty much gearing up to enter his prime, while Damian Lillard is pretty much in his prime, and stuff of that nature. So in that regard, I don't think there's that much in terms of going on a decline. As I mentioned in the last video, it's not necessarily defined by age and stuff of that nature. But again, it's something that I'm not really worried about. The age issue is not something I'm worried about. Obviously, the contracts I would assume would match. Zach LaVine's on a max contract. I'm assuming Damian Lillard is somewhat on a max contract. If not, probably on that super max. I don't know his contract situation. I probably should have checked that before coming into this video. But yeah, they're both on a lot of money essentially as well. So that could definitely help. Maybe we're going to have to chuck in another role player in there just to make it officially work. I'm not too sure, but that doesn't seem to be a problem for me. And again, I think he could work well for the Chicago Bulls. If you're putting him in a team with DeMar DeRozan, that often means that, you know, if DeMar DeRozan is going to be a ball handler, then Damian Lillard won't necessarily have the ball in his hands as much as he probably would have with Portland. But when you look at how, I guess, Damian Lillard has worked with players around his career, CJ McCollum was a ball handler. I'm sure if DeMar DeRozan was traded instead of Zach LaVine for Damian Lillard, Zach LaVine is still a ball handler. So he's worked with other ball handlers before, and that is obviously something that I don't think is going to be a big issue. Those are all the positives about Damian Lillard, and of course, we should be winning more games with Damian Lillard in the team. I think it's a different level than the players that we have at the moment. But there are some issues with that trade sequence as well. For one, Zach LaVine had a crazy season last year, and if you do get rid of Zach LaVine, are you really giving up your future for Damian Lillard? That is the question. Does Damian Lillard put us in the championship contention of the NBA? He may get us closer, which is obviously an argument point that everybody will say, but will he actually get us to contention? Will he allow us to thrive in this next upcoming season if we did trade Zach LaVine for Damian Lillard? Zach LaVine had an amazing season. Will Damian Lillard take us all the way to the next level? That is a question at least. Not a negative, but a question at least. Something else to consider when it comes to Damian Lillard is that if you're going to put him as the superstar player of your team, well, he's been a superstar for Portland, and Portland has not necessarily gotten that far in the playoffs, hasn't really come close to winning a championship. This Bulls team will obviously have aspirations to win a championship. So therefore, if you're going to put a superstar that hasn't come close to winning a championship into a Bulls team that hasn't come close in a long time to win a championship, will that make sense? Will that mix, and will we be able to become a championship team? That's at least another question you got to ask yourselves. Is Damian Lillard the right guy? Now, you know, I have a friend that actually suggested that, you know, in a crazy world, you would trade for Damian Lillard, then you would sign Giannis in the upcoming free agency in 2025, and all of a sudden you have your championship team right there. If the Bulls are crazy enough to pull that off, then fair play. But again, just because you're going to get Damian Lillard, if you get Damian Lillard, does not necessarily mean that's going to be all that we do. So maybe that can help boost us into that championship contention. Maybe. I have no idea. But that's something to take note of as well. And I guess the biggest negative to kind of take away from this situation is that, I guess, are you giving up on Zach LaVine too early? You gave him the max contract, right? A lot of people still have arguments over whether or not he's deserving of that or not. Damian Lillard is deserving of a max contract. I don't think many people will argue about that, whereas Zach LaVine, people will argue about that. I'm saying that the level of the player is probably different. Damian Lillard is a better player, but are you giving up on Zach LaVine too early in his development? Can he boost his career averages or boost his season, boost his entire level of play to another level, and you're willing to give up on that for someone that you already know what you're going to get out of? With Zach LaVine, some people are saying there's no development left in him. I respectfully disagree. I think there's plenty of development left in him for a variety of reasons. One, he should be coming into this season very, very healthy. And two, the confidence should be at an all-time high for Zach LaVine. And those things alone can bring development. Sometimes development is confidence. Bringing confidence into a game, and all of a sudden, the development will come alongside of that. So those are things to keep in mind. Plus, we do have a lot of guards, and what are we going to be giving up for Damian Lillard? Because in a hypothetical world, you know, straight up, Zach LaVine, Damian Lillard, I think most Bulls fans are going to take that. Simple as that. Portland probably won't take that. So we're going to have to offer more as well, and is that a risk you're willing to take? These are interesting arguments we're going to bring to the table, but I will end it here. Personally, I still don't think we're getting Damian Lillard. As many articles and as many videos as people talk about this situation, including myself, we have to reiterate, or I will at least reiterate my point of view. I do not think we are getting Damian Lillard, and I'm still not going to give my hopes up on a situation that I know is deemed heavily unlikely for the Chicago Bulls. So keep those things in mind. And I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful and safe day. Stay healthy. Wow. Hold up. Wow. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Stay tuned for more. Take care. And peace.